All right, first things first, if you like my videos, please smash that like button.
Sign up for the STEP program. Yes, the link is below.
Hello, AP Computer Science class. Today we're going to be doing Beauty of Joy Computing. Unit 3, Lab 1, Dealing with Complexity, page 4. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. It's one of the great mysteries of life. Not sure why Humpty was sitting on the wall, and not really sure why the king's horses and the king's men would want to put Humpty back together again. Or why is Humpty almost always pictured as an egg? Anyway, that has nothing to do with the lesson today. Today we're going to be building a brick wall using Snap. So this project, we're going to be using the pen tool to build out this wall, the wall that Humpty is sitting on. And we're going to be building out these bricks. One of the good things about this lesson is that you actually get a starter project right here. So I'm just going to jump into the starter project, and they give you a block that you can already work with. This draw brick, length 30, width 10. So if we click on this, it's actually going to draw a brick. As you can see here, it drew one little brick. If I press it again, it'll draw a brick over here. And if I press it over here, it's going to draw a brick over here. If I move it around, it's going to draw a brick wherever I tell it to draw a brick. Kind of great. We got this thing that draws a brick. And as you may recall, in order to see what this custom block is doing, you can right click it and you can go to edit. And here is the block editor. The first line here in the block editor is the text of the block. And here where you see this orange circle is a variable. And this variable is going to work throughout the rest of the code. So as you can see here, the length number here is length, right? It's being used later on. And the width number is going to be used here, of course. So basically what this block is doing is say it's going to set the pen color to this reddish, purplish, maroon. And it's going to set flat lines ends. So basically, if we look in the instructions, this flat line ends, all it does is really, make these edges, right? So these edges right here. So it looks like a block instead of having rounded edges. That's all that's doing. It's going to set the pen size to the width. So whatever width we tell it to be, it's going to set that pen size. It's going to put the pen down, and it's going to move a certain number of steps, and that number of steps is going to be decided by the length, and then it's going to bring the pen up. So basically, you're going to create this block with this code. So I'll press OK. That works great. So now, if we wanted to create, right, we're going to want to create a wall, just like this wall right here, the one that Humpty sat on. And one of the first things we're going to try to do is we're going to try to draw a brick wall with 7 rows. This is another block we're going to create. This is a block we're going to create later on. But in order to do that, we first need to create a block that does row A and a block that does row B. So if we look at the row A, right, these are full bricks. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bricks, right? In row B, we have a half brick, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full bricks, and another half brick. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to want to create something that makes row A, right? A row A. So let's look at that. To create a row A, right? First thing we're going to go do is we're going to go to pen, right? And we're going to make a block here. Okay, great. So we're going to say row A, and it's going to be a commander block, and it's going to work for all sprites. So we're going to say okay. And now we're going to put something in here. We're going to build out this code, and we're going to use this nifty block that was already created for us. So we'll pull it in from here, and we're going to stick it in here. And we'll do the same thing, right? 30 and 10, right? Because that's the block. So basically, we're going to want to make one brick, and then we're going to have to bring up the pen because we don't want it anymore. Pen up, and then we're going to move a couple steps. So we go to here, move, move. Let's just do 5, right? We don't want too much space between each brick. Okay, and then we could actually just copy this, right? So we could duplicate this, and again, and again. And I believe we want 6 of them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Actually, let's try it out. So we're going to do apply. Okay, right, and let's go back to the pen and go back to this block. Let's see row A. Let's bring our little cursor guy and see what happens when we press row A. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. Great, perfect. So we got row A working. Love it. The one thing I like to do for my code, because we have all these miscellaneous blocks here, I like to make sure that whenever I'm running a code, I clear everything off first. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll bring in this clear block. I also like to have a wait block because sometimes I want to see what's going on. So I'm going to do a wait 1 second. And also I'm going to turn this on right here. This is going to basically visible stepping. So it's going to show me what step I'm on at any given time. So if, like, for example, if I press this right now, it's going to wait, and then it's going to clear and then wait. I could do it a little bit slower actually. So, and the next thing I want to do is I actually want to have the program automatically put this cursor in the place that I want it to start. So I like it right there. In order to know where this is, we go to motion and we click on the X position and Y position. So that's going to give us the X position and the Y position. So -1, let's start at like 130. That's good. 130, and the Y position will start at 80. So -130 and 80. So we can actually set that right here. We go to X and Y. So X, we want to start at -130, and Y, we want to start at 80. So now every time I press this, it's going to always start right there, no matter where it is. If I put this all the way over here, it's going to always begin right at this position. This right here, this X and Y, I'm going to move down here so it's a little less distracting. Right. And now I'm going to put this a row A there. So I'm going to click on this whole thing. It's going to clear everything, wait, and then make a row A. Perfect. This is looking really good. Now, we want to create a row B. So let's go again. We're going to go to our pen, right? And we're going to create a new block, right? Make a new block. And we're going to call this row B. Okay, right? And we'll do the similar thing. We're going to bring in, draw brick, length and width. Now, here, it's 30 and 10. So 30 length and 10 width. So if we do a half size brick, right, it'll be 15. And the width is still going to be 10. Now let's just try to do this and see what happens. We'll just click on it and see it. Oops. Actually, it's not going to exactly work. So we're going to have to actually write out the rest of this and see if it works. So we're going to do the pen up, move 5 steps. Well, 10 steps, right? No, 5 steps. Just like the other one, 5 steps, right? And then, right, so this is the first brick because it's a half size brick. The second brick is going to be a full size brick. So we'll bring this in. I'm going to do this one as 30 and 10. So let's just press OK and let's test it out. So we'll bring in B and we'll just test it out, right? Okay, so we look at it, half size, full size brick. Okay, perfect. So now we can continue editing it. And what we're gonna do is we'll start from the pen up. We'll duplicate it. Okay. Duplicate it again. Okay. Duplicate it again. Okay. So this is one half size brick, one full size brick, two full size brick, three full size brick, four full size brick, and then we need another half size brick. So I can click on, right click on here, and I can duplicate. But if I only want to duplicate that one, you can go just further down and it'll allow you to just duplicate that one. Oh, but I am missing this pen up between it. So let's get that right here. So move, let's see, I got something wrong here. Oh, pen up, and I need this move 5 steps. Okay. So let's press OK. So you see this, right? So half size brick, full size brick, full size brick, full size brick, full size brick, half size brick. Okay. So now if we do row B, okay, great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Okay, so now we want this to, build a wall though, like not just in one area. So, okay, so here we're going to this X value, and here we have row A and row B, right? We're gonna wanna change, after it's done with row A, we're gonna wanna bring back our cursor back to the X value that we have here. So in order to do that, we can go to motion, right? And we can say set X to -130 or whatever you have here. So let's do that, -130. And then we can also change the Y. We're not gonna set the Y, we're gonna change it. And we're gonna change it because this is 80, this value, horizontally is 80, and we want it to go down a certain number. And we're going to want to iterate through this later when we're building each part of the wall. So we don't want to set the Y value. We're going to want to change it each and every time. So let's say we're going to do by -10. Let's do -15. Okay. So let's run it. Okay, so here everything clears. Oh, great. Oh, okay, so we do have a problem here. This wall is not complete, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So this probably needs an other full-size brick and a half-size brick. I am not going to fix this in the code. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and fix this part of the code. Can't give you all the answers, but we can at least know that we're doing this part correctly. So great. So we pretty much got the row A, we got the row B. We know how to start doing it like on top of each other. So one of the next things that we're going to want to do, I mean, you're going to be able to allow yourself to perfect this later on. But the last thing that we want to do is we want to draw a brick wall with 7 rows or with a blank number of rows. Now this is a little bit complicated. I'm going to go through it, and it's going to require you to bring in your old even script, right? That even script that you used before. And I believe it was in the predicate. So if you don't know it, you can go back and watch the predicates video. And also there's a link to the predicates snap project, which you could view. But let's go ahead I'm going to start giving you some clues on how to build it out. So first, we're going to go to pen, and we're going to go to make a block, and we're going to write the block. We're going to do draw brick wall with rows, right? I'll press OK. And then here in the little plus sign, we're going to click on it, and we'll I'll put num rows. So basically, this is a variable, which is the number of rows. We could set it to make sure that it's a number, right? Press OK. And now we're going to build out this script. Okay. To do this, we're going to have to set up an if statement. And that if statement is going to have to check if it's an even number or an odd number, right? So let's go ahead and bring in an if statement. And the reason we're doing that is because we're going to have different things happen if it's even or if it's odd. So we'll do the if else statement. So here, so if it is even, we're going to have it do one thing, else or otherwise, it'll do something else. Okay, so now I already imported my even what is it here? Even. Actually, I have not imported it, so I'll do OK, and then I will do File, Import. I already have these available on my computer, so it's the U3 L1 math library blocks. I'm going to open them. Okay, and that's going to import all those blocks. Woo! I got a bunch of blocks here. Okay, so now I can go back to my pen. Draw. Okay, here it is. Nope, not that one. Draw a brick wall with blank number of rows. I'm going to edit this. Right, here we go. So now I go to my operators. I'm going to go to this even. So if num rows is even, I'm going to start doing some of this stuff, right? I'm going to put in the clear because I want it to start as if it is. I'm going to bring this in as well, right? Because I want it to start at this position. And then I'm going to repeat. I'm going to do a repeat. So that's in the controls. And then here's my repeat. And I'm going to repeat this a certain number of times. I'm just going to erase it for now. But what I'm going to repeat is basically the stuff that I put here, which is, let me duplicate all of this. Since we built it out already, we're going to do row A, set X back to negative 130 like we did in our original script, change Y by negative 15, and then build out row B. Now, we're going to want to copy this again because this is going to repeat, right? So we're going to set row A, we're going to make row A, we're going to set it back to negative 130, change Y by negative 15, make row B, set it back to negative 130, change Y by negative 15. And then we're going to repeat this. We're going to repeat this a certain number of times. I'm going to put num rows in here. This is not the correct thing to do. But once again, I'm not going to show you absolutely everything to do, but I'm going to show you basically how it's done. So if I press OK and we do this, draw a brick wall, right? And if I do 2 rows, because 2 is an even number, so right? Okay. So what happened here? It created 4 rows. I put 2 in here, but it created 4. So there's something wrong in the code. Edit. There's something wrong in the code, right? I can tell you what's wrong is that this script, create row A, create row B, is repeating twice. So that's why you have 4 of them. You're going to have to change this right here in order to have 2 of them. I'll let you guys figure that out. but I'll continue. The else, right? The else is going to be a little bit more complicated even. We're going to have an if else within the else. So I'm going to put an if else, and the reason is this might not be the best way to do it, but it's how I did it. I'm going to do an operator, and I'm going to say if num rows is equal to 1, the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make row A, right? Of course, I also want to make sure that I clear everything. I'm going to want to clear everything. Go to -1 here, this right here. I'm going to clear after this else, make sure I clear it, and go to -130, 80, because that's how we've been starting out. And then I'm just going to create row A, and that's it, right? Is this the correct way to do this? No, I think this will work. This probably should work. Okay, let's try it out. So if we do 1, creates just 1 row. Perfect. This thing is working. Okay. So let's keep editing. Right? So wait, let's take it back a second. So we have 1, it's fine. If we do 2, it creates 4 because we know there's a bug that you're gonna fix. If we do 3, nothing happens. If we do 4, nothing. Oh, interesting. If we do 4, now it does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is twice as much as we want. We actually want 4. That's a clue to how to fix that. Okay. So let's continue editing, right? Because we have, if it's 1, it does just creates row A. Else, it doesn't do anything. That's when we put 3, it didn't do anything. So let's go ahead and try to figure out what to do here. So this is how I did it. It's quite complicated, but within the else, I also put another repeat because we're going to want to repeat the same thing over and over again. Repeat here, right? But the problem is that we don't want to repeat it, or we want to repeat it an odd number of times. And usually, when you repeat something, it's ×2, so you end up with a number, an even number, as opposed to an odd number. But we're trying to do something with an odd number of rows. So what we have to do is that we have to do this same repeat that we have up here. Let's just do it, right? We're gonna, actually, I'll duplicate the whole thing, right? I'm gonna put it in here. And then after that, we do row A again. So we'll duplicate this and we'll get rid of this, right? And that'll go after that repeat. So basically, if we do 3, and then we'll just do this, hold on. So we can say num rows, we'll just bring that, oops, cancel. Num rows, repeat num rows. Okay. If we do this, this is gonna, so if we put 3 in here, this is gonna repeat 3 times. That means it's gonna be 6 plus 1 is 7, which is not what we want. But let's look at it, okay? So if we do 3, right? It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So, and what we want this to do is 3. If we do 5, it's going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And what we want is 5. So you got to subtract 6. I am going to leave it here for you guys. And I want you guys to go ahead and try to figure this out. So remember, the parts that are buggy is in the repeat. So right here, where it's repeat number of rows, you need to put something here in order to subtract the amount of rows, right? So I'm going to give you a small clue, and it's not the entire clue, but it's a small clue, right? You could say number of rows minus something to get to the right number. You're going to have to figure it out. Another thing that you might want to do, you might want to use the rounding function, right? This rounds your number. So if you have 1.5 in here, this is going to round it to 2, right? So I'm going to give you another clue just because I'm giving clues out. You're going to have to use a combination of these things for this repeat right here. Minus, a round, and a divisor. Go ahead, think about it, play with it. You can do it. Same thing here. And the repeat here, you're going to have to do something there. It's going to be one of those things. So, and the other thing you have to figure out is how to make these all the same size. So, right? So, okay. So this second line that's too short, there is a bug in row B, right? You either have to add another block or you're going to have to do something. So go ahead and figure that out. But that's basically all you have to do here. And I hope it all makes sense. So basically what you're creating, you're creating these blocks and you're creating scripts using other scripts, which is very, very good. And one of the good things about this is that you're using abstraction to really understand this, right? So you're abstracting everything to the basics, right? You're trying to figure out how many blocks you need, right? And you can abstract it. So you abstract it to row A, right? You're creating a row A script. And it makes the code a lot cleaner. I'm leaving this code here because this is with the base code. But basically, right, if we really look at it, these are the blocks that were created, right? Right here. Draw a brick code, row A code, row B code, oops, row B code, and a draw a brick wall with so many rows, right? So these are the abstractions that make it easier to code and use over and over again. All right, that's it for today. I will see you next week. Bye.